I have to say I'm struggling to take Prince Harry serious lately, with comments in the media saying that he's taking a swipe at Elon Musk, somehow implying that he's responsible for the riots in the UK, his trip to Colombia despite concerns of security in the UK, and you may also have seen people putting disclaimers on their X profiles to somehow try to get out of any responsibility for comments, and you may have been wondering how far can you go and what can you say in a comment before it crosses any kind of criminal threshold, because we've seen people being going to prison for things that they post online lately, all of which I will come to in this video. But first of all, we are here on Black Belt Secrets, so my opinions might creep in here, so please do subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. But let's go to the first of these things that I find a little bit bizarre. We have Prince Harry making what the media have termed a veiled swipe. I think it's quite a clear swipe, actually, against Elon Musk, when he's referring to platforms and people that hold positions of influence, etc. So he says he has been quoted to say, "What happens online within a matter of minutes transfers to the streets. People are acting on information that isn't true." Now, while I caveat that it is wrong for people to post something that they know is misinformation or that they know is going to incite violence and all of that kind of stuff, obviously those things shouldn't really happen. But to make a blanket statement here that what happens online transfers to the streets is something that, with all respect, he's not qualified to say. And I'm not the only one to have said that, because he has been criticised by royal commentator Helena Shard, who has spoken to GB News about it and said that his comments are potentially dangerous and hugely damaging to the royal family, something I'll come back to in a moment. She explained Prince Harry's catastrophizes everything. We see it all the time. Everything's awful, terrible, and he thinks everyone's out to get him. He thinks he's the person that should be waving the flag, leading everyone on to better things. This is not the case at all, and actually, I just feel his opinion a lot of the time is quite dangerous. And I sort of agree that he's not qualified to make these kind of comments. But he went on to say, which they say here, taking aim at Musk, he added, "It comes down to all of us to be able to spot the true from the fake. In an ideal world, those with positions of influence would take more responsibility." So thereby blaming Elon Musk, not taking enough responsibility on X. Now, I have to say that this is a social media platform. There will be endless layers of filters and reporting, etc., for people to report comments and for things to filter out horrendous comments, most of which you'll never see. YouTube is known for filtering comments. A lot of people have actually told me that they see lots of comments being filtered on my videos because they leave comments against them and they get filtered out and disappear quite quickly. And so I just don't feel that he is qualified to talk about that. Now, I'm going to come on to these disclaimers and things like that, but just talking about things of being qualified to talk about things. I would generally only talk to you about things that I feel I'm qualified to talk about, either something to do with law, or if I'm giving you my opinion, I make that clear here on Black Belt Secrets, my law channel, Black Belt Barrister, obviously, but also things of fitness and health and things like that. And so I'd like to introduce you to a partner of mine about whom I can speak with authority, because I'm a bit of a fitness fanatic. I've been training for many years and I like to stay healthy. In fact, almost a year ago now, I quit drinking alcohol completely. I never drank a lot of alcohol, but I quit drinking absolutely completely. And when I did that, and I mentioned it in a video, I had a company called Wholly reach out to me, who provide energy drinks, hydration drinks, and teas, iced teas, and they are really, really nice. This is my favorite one. This is the strawberry and kiwi, and it's incredibly tangy, it's incredibly tasty, and it encourages you to drink more water, because I was getting bored of not having something to drink, refreshing to drink in the evening. And so when they reached out and they sent me these, they are really, really tangy. And they make you want to drink more and more. And there are several flavors. It's really tangy. It makes you want to drink more and more. It makes you want to reach for it. Obviously, on my channel here, I get you a discount. You can get £5 off your first order using the code SECRETS5 on screen and in the description below. And ongoing or on a larger order, you can get a 10% discount ongoing just using the code SECRETS. Again, they're on screen, they're in the description below. Please do go and check them out. And so I would genuinely, wholeheartedly recommend these. I wouldn't recommend something to you that I wouldn't use myself. That is my promise and my commitment to you on my channels. I would never recommend a product that I wouldn't use myself. So cheers, Holy. So now back to these disclaimers that you'll have seen some people putting on their X profile. And does it make any difference? Will it get them out of trouble for anything that they've posted previously or anything that they're about to post? Now, I know we're on Black Belt Secrets here, but just in case in point, because it's linked to this Harry and spouting what I think is nonsense online, with all respect to those that have posted it, this is equally ineffective, to put it mildly. So people have posted things like this. None of the information posted or repeated on this account is known by its author to be false, nor intended to stir racial hatred of any kind, nor cause psychological or physical harm to any person or group of people, howsoever identified. Now, that is just the equivalent of having a t-shirt that says, I do not intend to dishonestly appropriate property belonging to another with the intention to permanently deprive that person of it while stealing something from a shop, because that would obviously be theft, well, shoplifting in that case, but stealing something with all of those elements of the offense intact. Doesn't matter if you have a disclaimer to say you don't intend to do that or nothing that you're doing intends to do any of that. Just like if you were to make a statement that you don't intend to harm anybody whilst punching them in the head. Well, clearly making a statement that that's not your intention doesn't really change anything. The offense is committed. So applying this to things that people post online, just because you post something, the intent there of knowing that it's false or anything like that, as we've often discussed, intent in law is not quite the same as you might think of in everyday terms. Because the intent in law is that if it is a reasonable and logical foreseeable consequence of what you've done, then the intent can be there. So if you've posted something or repeated something that is definitely false, and regardless of whether you intended anything to stir up any kind of hatred, if it is a reasonable and logical foreseeable consequence that such hatred or whatever will be stirred up as a result of your post, this is not going to get you off the hook. Now, in a very mild sense, it might help, but actually, if I were on the other side of that argument, arguing against it, I would say that by posting this, sort of supports the notion that you knew that some of what you posted might have been likely to stir up some kind of hatred of some kind or whatever. So don't think, if you've seen these around, don't think that you can post those disclaimers and suddenly be absolved of all responsibility. That is just not likely to work. And so finally, we talk about people have been worried about, well, what can they say online? What are they allowed to say? And where is the threshold? Well, as I've said previously, it is very difficult at the moment, particularly if you're in the UK. And if you're overseas, you're probably just watching on with amusement to some degree, or bemusement. Because the lines are very, very blurred at the moment. Because what would ordinarily probably not even be prosecuted are now not only being prosecuted, but are being sent to prison. So there are various levels. So certain things, not only would they not ordinarily be prosecuted, but they are being prosecuted. And then when they would not ordinarily get a custodial sentence suspended or otherwise, suspended means you don't go straight to prison, it's suspended for a period of time in which you have to behave, would not ordinarily be even a suspended sentence, but are not only a suspended sentence, but an actual custodial sentence. So we've got things that would not ordinarily be prosecuted, being prosecuted, and for which might not ordinarily attract even a suspended sentence, getting not just a suspended sentence, but an actual prison sentence. And so these lines are somewhat blurred. But the only guidance I can really give you here is, if you're posting something online, it can be part of a genuine discussion. And if what you're saying is, I disagree with the government policy on this issue, and here are my reasons why, and this is intended to be, public debate and whatever. If that's the way that it's put across, and that is the reasonable and logical foreseeable consequence of your post, i.e. it's reasonable and logical to foresee that it is a discussion, a political discussion, that then brings it back within the realms of your freedom of expression, and you're allowed to say these kind of things. If any of it can be reasonably and logically interpreted by any person as being something that would incite somebody to do something or incite some kind of hatred, and just saying that you disagree with the policy, in my view, is not by itself enough to cross that threshold. Not that this is intended to be legal advice. It isn't. All of this is just pure discussion here, and somewhat with my opinion, because we're here on Black Belt Secrets. So I hope that that is some level of explanation here, and I hope that it gives somebody some kind of guidance, because we are in difficult times. And as I've said before, if you have strong opinions, it depends how you express those opinions. Now, there is a debate, and I fall on the side of we should be free to say what we wish. I don't think we should be free to incite violence, because if you say, these people should go and do this thing, I don't think that's right. But at the same time, I think you should be free to express what you think about certain policies, etc. So I hope that's useful. I know it's somewhat blurred at the moment, and I've said, if in doubt, just keep it to yourself. But let me know what you think about Harry's comments against Elon Musk. Unqualified and have been described as dangerous comments. Particularly when I've just realized I didn't come back to the whole Colombia thing. It's a little bit hypocritical to say that he's really worried about security in the UK whilst going on a several-day trip to Colombia, which, with all respect to Colombia, I don't think it's got such a safety reputation as the UK. But there we go. I'm no expert on that, so I won't say any more. I just suspect that it's probably safer in the UK. And so all the security questions and arguments have been put forth about the UK. And yet he's off to Colombia. But anyway, that's why I think that's just a bit bizarre. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you next time.